Hey, everybody. Kevin Harnett, Ryan Hoke with you. We've got our eyes to the sky. You may have just seen that lightning flash there on your screen. Now, we are keeping an eye on our SkyTrack cameras as well, simply because we've got a pretty large thunderstorm just out to the east of Louisville that has had a history of producing some very large hail. And we promised this earlier in the day, flagging today as an alert day this afternoon, saying any of these thunderstorms, which would be very isolated, but if they could occur, they would have the potential for that large hail. Boy, we have seen that.
Yeah, we have seen upwards of golf ball size hail already out of near Charlestown, Indiana. We'll show you some photos here in just a moment. This is one of those weird alert days where you think, okay, it's an alert day and there's going to be storms, but then you look at the Wave Weather app and you see a 30 or 40% chance of storms. This is one of those situations where if you see storms, they could very well be severe with large hail, but a lot of us are going to get missed.
Well, and that's always the tough part in messaging for 33 counties that we serve. But if you were watching the news today, we're like, most of us not going to see a thunderstorm. The places that do, move the car. Right?
You got a carport or a garage, parking garage. Now's the time.
Here's why. You see that hail takes the sort of the highest threat in the deal tonight. And we have another alert day we're going to talk about later in the week. That's on Wednesday. We've got more on that coming up. But tonight it's a hail-producing situation and some winds of 40, perhaps a little bit higher wind gusts. It really is the hail that's the main threat. We did hit a record high today in Louisville. We hit 87. I mean, this is a summer-like day minus the humidity.
June 10th is when our average high hits 87 degrees. So we are way above average for this time of year, way early to see something like that. We thought maybe we get awfully close to 90 today, the way things were trending, but 87 is where it ended up. Pretty warm.
Yeah, it was. I see some folks chiming in already with their hail reports.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry saying dime-size hail in LaGrange.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, it wasn't far from you where you had even larger hail size than that in Oldham County. A number of folks, AC just broke, hoping for cooler temperatures tonight.
Ouch.
Not a good night for that. It's going to be very warm tonight, no doubt. And tomorrow we're back in the 80s. Our current temperature is 84 in Louisville, so we're only down 3 degrees from that record high. Now, some areas that are getting the thunderstorm, easy to spot, right? It's like, oh, is their thermometer broken? No, it's not. Heavy downpours, a lot of rain there. I want to also mention these dew points. Important to note that we have moisture coming up from the south. This is being transported on southerly winds. This gives us that moisture content in the atmosphere. And most of us are in the 60s, but there is an area of southern Indiana not in the 60s.
And you'll see those 50s up there near Paoli, Salem, Seymour, North Vernon, Madison. Basically, near and north of Madison and Scottsburg, it's not as likely that you would see these strong to severe storms just because there's not as much moisture in the atmosphere up there.
In fact, they're having a hard time to even maintain themselves. You're going to see that over near Paoli here in a second as we zoom in. Let's take a little radar tour. We jump to the storm that really caused the problems. Good news is if you have the Wave Weather app, and you're in that area. Now, a lot of you that may be on this are like, well, wait a minute, I didn't get the alert. No, you didn't, because we sent it only to those people being affected. That's the beautiful part about the app. If we're watching individual storms like this, we can just outline the area and send it to those people that are in that geographical area. So, long before the first warning was issued, as soon as we saw the thunderstorm fire up before 7 o'clock, we identified that, we sent that out, and a lot of folks should have gotten that alert. I'd be curious to hear if you did, and I was going to check what I wrote on it, but I can't check because I wasn't in the alert, so I'd have to go back to the computer. But anyway, if you got that saying, hey, a heads up, it was parts of eastern Clark County, western in Oldham County in Kentucky. If you received that, let us know, because that's what that's all about. All right, again, we're looking at this storm. It's been pushing through with large hail.
And notice, too, we've got kind of two storm cores on this now. It's starting to split apart. In a situation where the winds are like this today, we have what are called splitting cells. And for you weather nerds out there, it's called straight line photographs. You can already see these two storms trying to split apart. Oftentimes, you'll see one storm that'll kind of trend north, one that'll trend south. In this particular instance here, one of them will fade away very quickly, and the other one will continue to be the dominant storm for as long as it survives.
Now, the good news is there's no warning still in place
Fantastic.
for this. So we're seeing a cycling downward. This I drew a few minutes ago, so it's just a tad behind schedule there. I'll move past that. This was the storm I mentioned up in Oldham County. It's already having a tough time sort of maintaining itself. So Orangeville's seeing some rain, but outside of that, not much there. Go back to a wider view and just show you what we've been watching today. You can see the really only player in the game at this point is the one across parts of Oldham County that's stretching over into far western parts of Henry County. So let's just zoom in. No strangers to severe weather there, by the way, with the tornadoes of recent times. Did your computer crash?
Well, actually, on TV, we're running a test crawl right now, and I'm trying to figure out who and what did that. So apologies for my absent-mindedness over here. I'm trying to fix what's on Wave Television right now. I'm not sure what happened there or who did that, but we're going to fix it while we're here.
We've got some lightning with this storm, a lot of that. So if you're in Oldham County, anywhere near there, you're probably seeing that. And again, we've had the reports popping in of pea-size hail. Here's another one from John saying, yep, pea-size hail just jumping into LaGrange. So we appreciate that. We'll take that down. No, there's really no tornado threat tonight. Some folks asking about what the tornado threat is. There's very little wind shear, which is why these storms are moving at like 20 knots, 25 miles an hour or so. Not much in the way of any type of shear for this. Now, heavy lightning, absolutely, and loud too, I'm sure. So you're going to wind up hearing the thunder with these storms as they pass by as well. All right, so let's see. I'm going back up. Yeah, I see Chase's comment. I'm not going to put it on here. There's always the trolls out there.
Uh-oh.
You know? Let's see. And that was on YouTube for folks that can't see it. Angela, evening from Taylorsville. Well, thank you. We appreciate you jumping in. Just sent a cool picture from Henry County. Thank you. You know, we appreciate all the pictures, by the way. Easy to do with the Wave Weather app. If you have that, scroll down to where it says submit your photo. Boom, it goes right into our computers. We can see it. You give the clearance that we can use it, and it's very, very helpful. Taylor, I hope I just answered the question about the tornadoes. There is no threat of that tonight. We're going to get into Wednesday here in just a few minutes. And here's Sheila saying she got the alert for Oldham County. She's in Crestwood. Great. Appreciate that. Here comes a report from Drennan. This is Melissa Ann saying thunder, lightning, heavy in Drennan. So appreciate that. In Trimble County, got the alert. Good. That's what it was meant to do. Appreciate that.
I'll be right back, guys. Give me just a sec.
Sounds good. And I'll tell you, while Ryan's taking care of that, let me just show you the radar view here. We'll just take that full. You'll notice that sort of pinkish color right over LaGrange. That is where we have the hail core at this point. I can show you that in a number of ways. This is the reflectivity on the radar. This is sort of the hail product that we use. And I'm going to zoom into it. You'll notice that based on color, this could be up to quarter size hail. Some of that's melting, so we're probably not quite that large between Buckner and LaGrange, right? That's one way we can measure hail. We also use what we call VIL, vertically integrated liquid. This is where we're also looking at sort of how much moisture is within this that could potentially produce hail. And once we start getting those lighter shades of pink as well as even white, that's when we know we're dealing with a pretty powerful thunderstorm. So this storm, it certainly has caused some issues with hail. We're looking at the velocity. There is none. No worries there. And when we look back to the reflectivity or the radar view, you're going to see that that is where we have the core of that storm passing by. So right over 71 by about right now.
Yeah, so that big purple core, that's what we've been looking at. Something new with our graphics, by the way, you'll notice is the lightning count on the top banner. We try to keep that on almost all the time now, so you can see how many lightning strikes have occurred in the last 10 minutes. And if my laser vision there is correct, that says 18 lightning strikes out of that particular radar view there. So the lightning strikes have not been like super, super crazy, but you'll see in some of the photos that we may have already shown you, but we will show you here. Some folks have seen those lightning strikes from ground level.
Yeah, no question. Jerry saw not only the lightning, but the hail, wants to know where to send it to. Yeah. Jerry, if you don't mind pushing that to the weather app, that gives us clearance to be able not only to see it, but use it on the air. So we appreciate that. If you could upload it, boom. It's a pretty easy 2 clicks and it's to us. So we appreciate that. All right, let's jump in, see what other questions there are. Sarah's like, no, Jerry, we don't want the hail. Well, some places are getting it, namely over LaGrange, Oldham County is right in sort of the crosshairs on this now. We saw this move out of far eastern Clark County. So places like Charlestown had large hail. I'm going to show you those photos in a second because we have a number of those. And then you can see that storm, while it has weakened some, it still has quite a core to it. And that's moving past LaGrange at this point and very much near I-71.
It's interesting how very slowly these storms are moving, these eastbound 20-mile-per-hour speeds on these. It hasn't even moved into Henry County yet for the most part here. That hail core is still over there's a severe thunderstorm warning just popping on the screen there. There indeed, we do have the warning that's popping on. Kevin's going to query it here. And it looks like until 9 p.m., and it does include Crestwood, LaGrange, and the very northern part of Shelby County, it looks like.
Yeah, so we're watching that storm. This is the one that's had our attention for the last hour and a half, well, really almost 2 hours now. We noticed at first at 6:30, it just started to pop. So it's all because of hail. Radar indicated with this upwards of 1.5 inches in size. So that's, that's getting up there where you can do some damage. I want to show you not only that storm, but let me zoom out, and then I'm going to show you a couple of photos here, give us an idea of what we've seen so far. First of all, we have the boundary nearby. That's that front off to our north. We have a tremendous amount of instability because of the sun and the extreme warming that we had today. So we've got the lift, we've got the instability, the dew points are high, we've got the moisture from that push from the south. What we don't have is the shear. You don't have to have that to have a severe thunderstorm. You just need that for tornadoes. So while our tornado threat is very low, the severe part, thanks to hail and slow movement of these storms, is high or higher than it would be otherwise.
So this is one of those evenings where you're going to want to make sure like the car is in the garage, if you can do that, just in case something pops up overnight in your neck of the woods. But I know a lot of folks have a lot of stress and anxiety over the last two tornado events we've gone through here, April 2nd and of course March 14th. This is not that night. This is mainly hail we're going to be watching for.
I've just popped up the warnings that are in place. You see those in yellow, red, green, indicating tornado, severe thunderstorm, and flooding. The red sort of outlined areas or areas that the Storm Prediction Center are watching. And none of those are in our viewing area. That's why I wanted to point that out. This is from the Storm Prediction Center. This is today's severe weather outlook, and we have been in that slight risk zone. But if you look even closer, you can see back out to the west of us a higher chance for hail potential today. But if you look in our area, we're still in that 15% hatched area, and that's a pretty decent sort of hail threat for us, and that's why we've had these thunderstorms that are producing hail. The Futurecast shows just how isolated this is going to be. Not everybody even going to see a thunderstorm this evening or tonight. It's in and it's out just after midnight.
And then as we head throughout early tomorrow morning, things should be fairly dry and quiet. Now, there is a small chance for an isolated pop-up shower or two tomorrow, but it's only 20%. This is what we will see for tonight. We'll update some of those red bars there, but between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. is the main severe weather chance there. Thereafter, things are pretty much done. These hail photos were insane today. Look at these.
Yeah, this is from Alex. Alex from Charlestown, Indiana.
Wow.
Sitting in that. You can see that was almost golf ball size hail there. I mean, that was
easily
impressive.
over quarter, and that's golf balls your next stop. So, wow.
That would do some damage. Pea-size hail, dime-size hail coming in out of LaGrange. Of course, you all have told us that, so we appreciate that. We're seeing some of this come in from some of the emergency managers and spotters there. Here's one out of Westport, Kentucky, a little bit smaller than what they may have seen in Charlestown, but still appreciable size hail. If that was falling in your neighborhood, you'd certainly catch your attention.
Yeah, nickel size roughly on that, just below that quarter size threshold. And I wanted to point this picture out. If you really are eagle-eyed, you can zoom in on this. In fact, I'll take it full here for just a second. You can see there's a lightning strike on the left-hand side of the image, and then there's this weird wispiness on there. What is that? That may very well be a hail streak, from what I was able to ascertain. So some of the hail is getting lofted out of that storm down toward ground level there, and it created that little streakiness that you see on the picture. So I thought that was interesting, and that, of course, came from Tyler Piercy here in Louisville, looking into Oldham County from his neck of the woods there. All of these coming from the Wave Weather app. That's where you can submit your hail photos and videos safely. today.
Yeah, easy that. Christine says, hey, wasn't expecting this in LaGrange tonight. Again, it's the alert day was short fuse. Sometimes we were able to put those on days and days in advance. Today, no, it was sort of things started destabilizing pretty fast, and we were like, all right, we'll try to catch up here and throw out an alert day before anything gets issued. So that's the thing with the weather, especially in this part of the country, and not just here. It happens in a lot of places, but this kind of stuff can happen in relatively short notice. So sometimes people get used to the extended and advanced warnings on these things. And when it happens so fast, it's like, hey, you didn't call that one. That was a surprise. Well, sometimes that's true, but today we had at least a little bit of time.
And we often see this kind of thing happen as we get into the warmer months, especially like May, June, July, even August here, where you get these short fuse, big hail events with not a whole lot of wind with them. So just be on your toes. Whenever you see a thunderstorm chance in the forecast and we go, hey, if you could be strong, that's when you know one of those short fuse situations could happen.
I'm just looking at the radar here, and I'm just dialing down the reflectivity. And as we take a closer view, I'm going to zoom into those storms just a tad. Back out to the west of us, you see the one up in French Lick. That's the one near Orangeville. And then the ones off to the east are certainly the ones most powerful. The only severe thunderstorm warning we have is across parts of Oldham County. It's going to drift down into, I guess it could hit far western parts of Henry County, but we'll be dipping eventually into Shelby County. So that's the current warning. So really it's Oldham County in the crosshairs on this one.
And it looks like it's like 3 distinct cells now with all of this here. You see the one near Skylight and Goshen, the one near LaGrange, and then that third one near Pendleton, where it says Oldham there. So this, again, is one, we were discussing this earlier if you're just joining us here. This is one of those situations where no individual storm cell will last too long. I am surprised this one near LaGrange has lasted as long as it has, because the wind setup is such that these will split. We'll have splitting cells very easily tonight, and these storms may multiply through literally cell division right there.
That was lightning I was oofing about.
I was wondering, I was like, what are you oofing at?
I'm going to keep this. I'll keep it up, see if we can get another lightning
Look at
strike.
the bugs. Oh my gosh, it looks like July out there.
Or is that debris? No, it's just bugs. I'm waiting for the lightning. There was one.
Yeah.
Lightning is not only mysterious to me, but look at that. There are the flashes. Yeah. So, I mean, again, lightning is one of the spectacular things of nature, but it's super dangerous. I love watching lightning from the inside. I'm mortified of it if I'm outside. It's because when I was a kid, we were at the lake and lightning struck the house next door, and it went through the tree roots and power. I mean, it was crazy. And several of my family members got shocked inside the cabin because one was cooking, one was in a bedroom, blew the light out. Yeah, we were in a swing and, shocked down the thing. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And the house caught on fire. I mean, it was literally from here to the next house over. So it was super close. Anyway, to this day, I'm scared of lightning because it's so unpredictable in the sense of where it's actually going to strike. Now, what causes lightning? This is the great mysterious part about weather. Lightning is still one of those relatively unknown things, but the thought is that, in nature, everything likes to be balanced. Positive and negatives like to be connected up. Opposites attract, right? Like if you know the laws of physics, you know that. What they say in lightning is that the hail in that storm, the ice crystals in that storm going up and down because of the strong updrafts, obviously it gets heavy and it falls. Colliding together creates the friction. Well, then the cloud becomes imbalanced. So you get negative charges at the top of the cloud, positive charges toward the top of the bottom of the cloud, negative charges toward the top. And what happens is the cloud comes across the ground. Everything on the ground gives off positive charges, including us, including a lot of things that can conduct electricity. And when that connection is made, either from the cloud or cloud to the ground or cloud to cloud, you get the lightning strike. It always travels in the path of least resistance. And it's fascinating to me.
Yeah, and, I just saw Shonda put on there, our weather guy is mortified of lightning. I wouldn't have thought of that at all. Well, those of us who are in our career fields can still be scared of the things that we're actually dealing with, because it's kind of healthy and human and probably saves our lives to be scared of some of these things that
I'll chase down a tornado any day, but the lightning, it's a little unpredictable. So as long as I'm in a car, I'm fine. But
if you're in a car it
Don't
acts
be
as a
outside.
Faraday cage and you're okay, right? But if you're outside and there's lightning, especially in a body of water, I mean, Kevin was talking about his lake story there. If you had been in the middle of the lake and lightning had struck, that would be even worse because water is super conductive. So go indoors when thunder roars. Easy enough.
A lot of people chiming in about their lightning stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the only one. There's Jonathan. Lightning
Hello,
unsettles
Jonathan.
him too. And Melissa's saying lightning hit their house once, made big bubbles on the
Oh my
kitchen
gosh.
floor. Yeah, I mean the strength, the power of lightning. I mean the lightning bolt is no wider than the sharpened edge of a pencil, like the tip of a pencil.
That's right.
But the flow of electricity and the power of that. I mean, it's like 3 times hotter than the sun.
Yes, it's hotter than the surface of the sun. That's why you don't want to mess with it, right? That can end a lot of things very quickly.
All right, what do we have? Let's see. Any other questions? Oh, yeah. See, now everybody's changing. Angela's like she had a bolt hit the road 50 feet from the bedroom window. Yeah, no.
No, thank you.
I just don't like the lightning. I'm fine with the tornadoes. I like a good snowstorm. I'm good with ice. I'm good with things that you can predict. Lightning is unpredictable. Where it's going to strike, anybody's guess. That's why we always say, when you're out in the pool, out in the golf course, sporting events
On the lake.
A lot of people, call in. But nowadays, we get alerted whenever lightning gets around us or close to us if you're near a sensor on that. So it's like so easy now to just kind of stay away.
Yeah, and on the Wave Weather app, you can see the lightning bolts on that app. They're the same ones we show you on TV. It's all coming from one network. Visala owns it, by the way. They're like the private vendor for all that lightning data for the entire United States here. And it makes it really easy. So you can, see it on the map and then also configure those notifications where it says lightning has been detected near your location.
From Wave News, right? Good point. Robert's asking to check the LaGrange rail cam. Maybe we can.
I think I can pull
that
yeah,
up.
I can get that.
Pop it up for everybody.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. Yeah.
Any storms southern Indiana? No, that's why we're focused just on this one. There is the one up in Orangeville, but that's not severe. I'll zoom into it for you. There's this downpour that's had a hard time going, and we pointed out earlier, if you're just jumping in, the dew points up that way are fairly low. So these are having a little bit of a hard time. They're struggling up across parts of Orange County. Now, there is a little bit of a boundary that stretches, and that could be the next focal point for additional storms. But is this the only storm in the game tonight? No, probably not. We're just now cooling off the atmosphere. And this storm's helping to cool off areas around it, which is why we have another storm just east of it. But what we'll notice is that as we cool down with the sunset tonight, we're going to wind up seeing thunderstorms that will be increasing.
Right. And as those storms increase overnight tonight, there is the potential for additional hail like this. And see, that's a problem because we don't want folks to be unprepared for that. Even though it's such a small area that we would see with hail, could be a big problem. Kevin's going to pull up the live rail cam there. That is LaGrange, and you can see the lightning. It's coming down like crazy. This is via YouTube and Virtual Rail Fan. Thanks, of course, to those folks for putting this live camera up for us there. But you'll see that it's coming down at a pretty good clip.
Yeah, it is. And I was just going to pop Robert's comment up. So thank you for
there
that.
We go. Ta-da. Now we've got it all up and configured for you.
And I was looking to see if we could even tell if that was hail. It's sometimes tough, but you can tell as it
It's a good camera, but
falls.
Can't see if there's small hail in it yet or not. It may have already passed.
The heaviest has.
Yeah. Good light.
But boy, the lightning show is wicked. And again, when we look at the radar, that's what you're looking at. The camera coming from right in the center of that. That's LaGrange. So it's just right downtown there.
I love downtown LaGrange because you've got that train that goes right through it there. Sometimes that can cause problems, and that's why, of course, they have the live camera up there.
Yeah, so you're watching the rail cam, the lightning. It's all going on there across LaGrange. There's not a lot of severe weather out there for tonight. A lot of folks jumping on with us. If you have questions, we're happy to take those. We're going to get into Wednesday's severe weather setup as well here. So let's jump into that. I'm going to fast forward. We'll come back to this warning over in LaGrange. I've zoomed in just a little bit more to it. I'll show you the hail on it. Let's see. We'll just go back to the hail plot. Yeah, it's nothing. It's gone down in size as it's moved across 71. For those asking about rotation and velocity, no, it's just not there. We don't have to worry about rotation tonight with these storms. This is a heavy rainmaker for places that are getting, because of its slow movement, hail and lightning. All right.
Yeah, so not like a tornado night, guys. That's the good news with this. That's why we're kind of just doing this kind of casually, just kind of letting you know what's going on there in the Grange right now. This is not like an active, super life-threatening situation or anything like that. But you could have property damage with hailstones that can get as big as they've gotten tonight to your vehicle, to your house's roof. Things like that can happen in a situation like this. So that's why we're on here, just to give you the heads up about what's going on.
So Amy's saying they had 1.5 inches hail in LaGrange near Oldham County Fairgrounds. That would be like golf ball size hail on that. So
that's pretty big. I mean, that'll take out some car windows there if it goes at the right angle.
Yes, it certainly can. Golf ball size hail is nothing to sneeze at either.
No.
Sorry, I'm having to scroll past some of the roofing comments.
Oh, no.
We know you're out.
Oh, no.
We'll let people decide who
I
they
said
want
the
to
magic
call.
word.
Yeah.
Whoops. That happens every time we've got severe weather. All the folks that want to, try to promote their businesses are out there. We get it. Let's see here. I'm trying to reset everything on my end here so I can see your all's comments. And when I was putting up that virtual rail fan video there, all of my screens went away that allow me to see all of your guys' comments on here. So apologies for me being in and out tonight. I'm the technician and also the broadcaster at the same time here. We wear many hats around here.
I'm fast forwarding to Wednesday's alert day, so we're going to jump into that next here. It's 8:42. We'll wrap this up in about 10 minutes, but before we let you go, let's talk about tonight. So we've mentioned we have one thunderstorm now. Obviously, we're tracking that severe thunderstorm. We'll get back to that in a second, but we also want to talk about Wednesday. Wednesday's the next alert day once we pass this evening. This will come with a chance of rain in the morning. So Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, rain moves in, a few thunderstorms, likely not severe, all right? The afternoon storm chance will bring the greater threat for thunderstorms that would have the potential to be severe. And we're talking anytime from 3, 4 in the afternoon through about 7 or 8 in the evening. And all hazards would be in play on that day. We're talking about strong, damaging wind gust, hail, and a tornado threat. That's for Wednesday.
Yeah, so that threat looks to be quite a bit higher than tonight's threat, all right? Just know that these are kind of two different types of situations here. And I would say right now, based on the data, it's east of I-65 that has the greatest threat for Wednesday here. What we're getting ready to show you here is Futurecast. And you'll see there's a morning round of storms, but this morning round of storms is not expected to be severe. These will be what we call elevated. So they may look kind of impressive on radar, but they're not going to be able to key in on the surface instability here that would produce severe wind gusts here. So if you hear thunder very early Wednesday morning, like 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m., don't be worried about that. Be more concerned about the afternoon there.
Yeah, and that's the boundary that moves through. And then what happens is we sort of re-energize the atmosphere. We went through this several weeks ago, the beginning of April, where we had that overnight threat, the morning rain and thunderstorms. Some of those were strong. And then we wound up having more in the afternoon that were strong with the tornadoes. A lot of people asking, and this happens all the time after we come off of an event like April 2nd, will this be like that? It doesn't look quite as strong as that. So no, not expecting that. But could we have severe thunderstorm and or tornado warnings? It's possible, but it's not looking like as strong of a system as what we had in the early part of the month.
Right. So this is not going to be the exact same scenario as what we saw then. One thing we'll watch for on Wednesday here is sunlight. We always say, it seems like we always say, if you see the sun on a severe weather day, that's not a good thing because it re-energizes the atmosphere for, of course, severe storms to form. And Wednesday would be one of those days. As we head throughout the afternoon hours, you'll notice there will be some breaks in the clouds here. In fact, I'll advance Futurecast one forward here so you can see those breaks starting to form here 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a problem. Now, something that Futurecast is having trouble with today in particular here is trying to figure out where these storms are going to form here on Wednesday. See this batch of clouds right here? This is where the storms would be trying to form by 4 o'clock in the afternoon if they should be forming. It depends on how quickly this boundary can get through here and how quickly these storms will form. Again, I think think I-75 has the greatest threat of severe weather areas east of I-65 here on Wednesday. We're still too early out to give you like that pinpoint precision hour by hour ness of that, but you get the idea that it may not be everybody involved on Wednesday. So keep an eye on that, especially if you're east of I-65. You may be in that greatest zone of potential there, Kev.
Yeah, we'll watch that. Again, we'll have more information with the data coming in tonight and then, of course, tomorrow. So hopefully we can fine-tune that and see if it's going to be pulled back a little farther to the west, which would mean along I-65, or maybe we can push it a little farther to the east and let it be in Lexington's area. That's certainly possible because all of that's dependent on the timing of this on Wednesday, right? Depends what time that first wave moves through Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, what the conditions turn into after that wave. So there's lots of ifs and questions of how the atmosphere recovers and the timing of the speed of it. So that's what we'll be watching tonight and tomorrow. What we can say is at this point, we're under this slight risk for severe weather from the Storm Prediction Center for Wednesday. The best timing, 2 p.m. to about 10 p.m. Supercells and clusters of storms possible. We mentioned all threats would be at play, gusts of 60 miles per hour or more. We also would have the large hail potential, isolated tornadoes, flash flooding. Not a guarantee, something we'll watch. Wouldn't get too crazy about it just yet, all right?
And there it is, the 10-day earliest alert. And you'll see in view here is that alert day for Wednesday. Notice what temperatures do behind that. They don't move a whole lot until we get to Friday. And that's another front moving through with some showers that will take us down for the weekend. It seems like thunder over Louisville the last couple of years can't catch a break. At least we've been able to, reduce the rain chance today, only down to 20%, which is good. It's just that it won't be like sunny and 75. It'll be more so mostly cloudy and like 62. I guess beggars can't be choosers. However, that's the cards we're dealt this time of year when you have events in late April. We'll go back to the severe weather.
Yeah, I just wanted to pop this up while we're talking, taking some folks' questions. I'll zoom in a couple of places. First of all, some folks are like, man, it's coming down again in LaGrange, and there you see that hail core. So lots of hail north of LaGrange. Now it's moving just off to the south. John sending in that. We appreciate that. Been hailing in LaGrange for 30 minutes, according to Carrie. No doubt about it. You've probably seen several rounds of it. Kayla's saying, thank you. Appreciate this. Like watching these. Brandon's asking, do you think the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, will upgrade us to moderate? Just curious on your opinion. I don't think so. I think being in the slight is, may wind up being questionable, and we'll see how that works out. At the way it looks now, the timing of this may push the worst part past us earlier in the day, which would not allow for enough recovery to take place in our area for Wednesday afternoon.
Right. That's not to say somebody could get into moderate, but probably be east of our counties,
right.
Not us, the way we're looking at things now with the storms. Again, that's for Wednesday. And right now on your screen is LaGrange happening here now.
All right. And from the Oldham County group chiming in, there's intermittent pea-sized hail falling along Highway 53 and Old Sligo Road. That's 3223, I believe. So I can zoom in. You can see that little core sort of congealing. So this kind of pulses up and down, and this is what we expected to happen. And there's another hail core back up here near Skylight, and you can see that one's pushing through as well. I'm going to try to call out some names. Some of these computers are hard for me to read. I need better eyes. What is that?
We
Liberty
need bigger
Lane?
Screens too, I think.
I have no idea.
May not be your eyes because I'm having trouble.
I know that's 42.
That's Skylight Way right there. Liberty Lane. That is Barrackman Lane, there we go. And that top one I can't read, but you can see, let's just put it full and I'll be able to see it. There we go. So Art and Axton Lane, there we go. If we were smart, we would do it this way. Liberty School's right there, and Skylight Manor and Longfield Drive. It looks like the elementary school's nearby, but it's right over Liberty School right now. I mean, it is just going ham. And it's impressive, too, that this is one of these cells that split off. This is the secondary cell here that's going nuts. All of these are putting down hail this evening. It doesn't matter if it's an old storm or a new storm. This atmosphere is primed for hail with the amount of instability that we have in it. Getting up to 87 degrees today certainly gave it the fuel it needed to get going.
New Moody Lane, seeing some hail. Commerce Parkway. Again, this is all over in Oldham County. You're moving just south of Kentucky Avenue and 146, crossing over I-71. This is just hail, and I say just hail, but it is putting down hail.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the rail cam too. It looks like heavy rain there, but could be some small hail mixed in with that. Oftentimes you see it pinging off the sidewalks, but the lightning is impressive.
Yeah, that lightning continues to flash over there. I'm not seeing any signs of hail on the camera just yet. If we do, we'll show it to you here. There's some poor guy running. A poor thing. He's got to run through that thunderstorm. Get inside.
Did that say Domino's?
That's that darn 30 minutes or it's free, that they used to have decades ago. He's probably thinking he had to deliver by then.
Let's see. Here's a question. It's looking bad toward Charlestown. Well, Tim, I think you may have seen the worst. I'm going to zoom out on the radar here. But, this same storm passed by Charlestown.
Yeah, Charlestown's in the clear at this point.
In the clear for now. But what you're seeing, if you're seeing the lightning, is just off to the south of you and east. And then you've got one lone thunderstorm back up to the north, but I haven't even seen lightning with that one. It's trying to get going. And more storms will develop and sort of pop, if you will, as the evening wears on, as we slowly cool things down. All right. So let's jump back to some of your questions here. And this was one we answered. Is Wednesday alert day going to be anything like the last alert day? No, not expecting it to be like that, but it could get a few warnings. All right.
And this is the time of year when we typically see some of our, most widespread severe weather. So we're in the middle of the season. Make sure that you're prepared. Make sure you and your family know where to go during a tornado warning. Obviously, tonight, that's not the problem. But, Wednesday very well may be in a few spots. We'll see.
Michelle's asking, is it going to hit Nelson County? These storms will pop where it's sort of impossible to say exactly where. We can say that there's lesser of a chance farther to the north because of the lack of the dew points that we notice. But any place between, I'd say Salem on to the parkways, fair game for these thunderstorms to pop up just about anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a randomness to it, kind of a chaos to it here. We can't say for sure if one location will or will not get hit just because of the nature of these updrafts going up to make these storms.
Linda's saying it's hailing, flash flooding, lightning, thunder, a little bit of everything in LaGrange. That's that storm moving through, which we've got pinned right along 71. You may see that secondary if it moves. It's moving so slow, but as this one sinks to the south, you may see the one around Skylight move in your direction if it doesn't rain itself out. A lot of times what we see on these is they sort of collapse themselves. Especially
without much wind shear like we have today. Wind shear is what keeps the storms alive for as long as they can go. Today, we just don't have that element.
Chris is saying here in LaGrange, we're at 0.6 inches of rain, so over a half an inch of rain since it started just over an hour ago. So Impressive rain totals coming in with that.
Good washer there, geez.
CJ, are we looking at a sunny day tomorrow like today? It's
not bad.
It's going to be decent. There's going to be maybe a few more clouds tomorrow and a small chance of rain, but a better chance comes our way later in the evening hours for tomorrow. That'll take us to that rain chance early Wednesday that we talked about.
And there's Scott saying here in Crestwood, it's putting on a light show with all of those lightning strikes down that way.
Yeah, you're not kidding. We were watching that. Let me see if I can punch our SkyTrack back up here just to see if we can see that. Sometimes you get a wide view. You can really see some of the...
it would illuminate the cloud and you'd see some really cool stuff.
Let me just
let's see
pop
what happens
that up.
Here.
We're still looking to the west.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Like bang,
good
bang,
call.
bang, bang. It's like dancing in the sky, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad to be inside watching it.
It's pretty when you can see it on video, but from the interior of your home or business here. But outside with that, no thank you. All right. Hailing on center field now, according to Teresa there. Center field, Kentucky. Yeah, not shocked by that.
I was trying to pop it up. Sometimes when I click pop this up, they move, and then I'm going to wind up showing some of these spammers.
Right, that's the tough part.
So I'm just banning them, whatever.
Kevin's got the ban.
I typically don't ban anybody. I really don't. Whatever. If that's what you want to say, I'm not going to put it on here, but I'm just not feeling it.
It's basically
I'm not feeling it tonight, so I'm just going to ban them. It's easier to ban them than to worry about clicking.
Click on the button.
All right, hailing there in center field. So we've got that. Let's see what else. Nice light show. There's Todd chiming in from Southern Indiana. Yeah, you can see it from up there too, I'm sure. Crestwood getting a great show.
Yeah, no shock by that.
Sean is saying the spammers love Brian Good. Yeah, I think they just jump on here whenever we go on. I don't. Half of them you don't even realize they're probably not even real. With this whole AI and things, they just jump in,
Could be
talk
bots.
nonsense.
Yeah, bots. You gotta love bots. Bring on the snow, or BOTS for robots.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like any of it. It's only the old curmudgeon
He
that's
is
like
a curmudgeon.
95 over here. No, I'm not. Some beautiful towers that fizzled popcorn here in Paoli. Yeah, so yeah, that's right. You did have some nice towers going up, those cumulus clouds building today. We saw some of those from here on the Skytrack cameras. We looked off to the north.
Yes.
Nice to see those go up, but you're right. They only went up because there was no shear to kind of clip them, but they fizzled because of the low dew points up that way.
Right. And so that's why areas north of here really aren't seeing much storm activity.
LaGrange getting hammered. We got one place in the whole viewing area getting hammered.
It's LaGrange.
It's Oldham County, namely LaGrange.
Yeah, about 10,000 people within kind of the scope of this storm right now, based on the earlier, warning population estimates there. We continue to monitor that virtual rail fan LaGrange camera there. And so far, it's just very heavy rain, a lot of lightning. I'm not seeing any hail at this time. They do have some of those string lights across like First Street there, and they're just waving around like crazy.
Punch that up.
Yeah, let's punch it up. Yeah.
Hang on. Let me pop your computer up. What is that there?
I didn't want to make Kevin have to do all this work, but here we go. Just for you, we'll get the live camera up. Boom, there it is. Oh, there's the police.
Just in time. Yeah, boy, the rain is relentless. And Jennifer points it out. She says, this is the slowest moving storm ever here in LaGrange. Well, you're right about that, because it keeps expanding and it really is just slow moving.
It's like redeveloping, splitting, and moving very slowly over like the same spots over and over again, which is just makes it tough to get out of it.
Teresa said it was pea-sized hail so far, but looked like maybe getting bigger in Centerfield and Buckner.
Oh, okay.
We saw bigger hail. We've got pictures of that.
Oh, we got a severe thunderstorm warning just popped up there at the top of your screen.
Let's take this. It's going to be for the same storm.
Same cell, but they're just redrawing it and extending it out to 9:30 this evening there.
This is like the third warning for this one storm
and
in the same area.
And the polygon hasn't really moved
that's what
a whole lot in that time. It's amazing. Wow. Yeah. This is, they basically redrew the polygon almost exactly like they did before, minus the northwest side of that. So yeah, Centerfield, you're getting hit right now. Don't see the purple core like we did before, but this has been cycling so much that it wouldn't shock me if the innards of that storm. Yeah, there you go. That's the hail size potential. And you'll see that quarter size and that dark blue bullseye right there. That's just south of Buckner.
Are you able to pull up the Zeem?
I can.
Adele Dazeem.
Oh my gosh.
Who's that? Name that person.
I don't know who that is. Know? That's why
the award ceremony. That's what John Travolta called Adele.
Oh, yes, I remember that. That wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was just like, wait, what?
Zeem. By the way, everybody at home is like, what now? They lost their mind.
Now I got to figure out how to get into Zeem. So give me a couple minutes. I'll get it on here.
Well, Zeem is the program we use to show your photos and videos. So we'll see if we have any new images coming in.
We'll get it figured out by hook or by crook here.
All right, let's see.
Oh.
I'm going back to starting to see the storm form over Crestwood at like 7. Yeah, just before 7. In fact, Scott, that's same here. We first noticed the blip on the radar at about 6:45 maybe a little bit. No, that was about right. It was about 6:40. That first reflectivity showing up. And we're like, oh, here it goes. And that was in Clark County, Indiana, Charlestown. And then we're like, bing. And it's grown since. And then we've seen large hail. All right.
Yeah, let's pop it up there, Kev. I think I got it working there. Let's see. There we go. That is a big hail photo. Unfortunately, I have to make it smaller. This is from Cody P. And he didn't put his location on there, but look at all that hail on that deck there. I mean, that is going nuts. Let's go and see some video now. Let's see. There's some good lightning video.
And yeah, that is.
Well, it was good. There it goes. You can see a few strikes there. And let's see. That was from St. Matthews off Bowling Boulevard from Mandy. Thank you to Mandy for sharing that. Let's see what this next video is here. Oh, yeah. definitely looks like Northeast Jefferson County there.
Are they dated the 16th? And today the 15th? What is
I
today?
think it's in Z time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so these are in Z time, by the way, if you guys are looking at this. Z time is UTC time. So that's Danny there. Thank you, Danny, for uploading that for us here. Let's see. Oh, hail. Look at that.
What'd you say?
Oh, hail. Hail, no. Hail, yeah. What the hail? Did we get that out of our system? I think we did.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That was from, looks like Jerry in LaGrange.
Oh, Jerry. He's been in here asking if we've seen his
Jerry,
video.
this is your video.
Thank you.
There you go.
Sorry for the raw nature of this. We'll be able to show it a little bit better on TV, but
yeah,
this is
a new system we have. So you submit your app photos and videos the same here with the Wave Weather app. How we receive them has changed a little bit. So I apologize for this looking like the most crazy looking thing. This is Amanda in LaGrange. Her photo looks like that, and that is impressive to say the least. That's a lot of small hail covering the ground there. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, that's a pretty good lightning shot there. You can see lightning illuminating the cloud there in the distance. That was from Kathy. Kathy, Spencer County. She was looking at the storms north and east of her. There's a good little piece of hail there. That looks nickel size.
Marble size or a
Yeah,
little bit
something
bigger.
like that. That is from Thomas and LaGrange. Let's see what else we got here. More hail covering the ground there. That definitely looks like it's in Oldham County. That was from Bob in LaGrange. Lots of LaGrange.
Appreciate all the photos, by the way, and videos.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This is wonderful. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. That's something like you'd see out in Denver, Colorado, with that level of hail accumulation.
Well, it's not just small hail either. I mean,
It's some of these chunks are big. They look maybe quarters, maybe.
That'll get your attention.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good video here. Good grief. Well, let's see where this is from real quick, and then we'll turn over to some other content here. But this is from Bob in LaGrange. So thank you, Bob, for sharing that video with us here.
All right. We still are watching the radar. And again, pointing out where that hail core is, we still see that we have the warning. That warning will go for just a little bit longer. In fact, when we take a look at the details of the warning, you'll see them pop on. This goes until 9:30. So we've got another 30 minutes on this. When you see that source tagged observed, it means they have seen hail that big. 1 inch hail, quarter size hail. So Buckner, Crestwood, LaGrange, we've had it. We just showed it to you, thanks to you. We appreciate you all sending in the videos and the pictures. Let's take a closer view inside. Where we see these hail cores, where we have the deepest returns, the deepest reflectivity coming back to us. And as we zoom into that, you can see it would be across Eden Parkway, Peak Road, LaGrange Parkway, West Moody Lane. That general area would hold the greatest potential for some of the larger hail.
And you see that tag on the left-hand side of the screen under where it says severe thunderstorm warning and it says source observed. A little inside baseball here. Whenever you see observed, that means that the National Weather Service is issuing a warning because they have confirmation that either wind, hail, or tornado or whatever has happened. And that.
Were you completely just zoned out? I just said that exact sentence.
Did you just say that?
Yeah.
Well, I've been operating the photos over here. I must have missed that. I am so sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry.
Holy
I just
cow.
didn't know if you were with us.
Obviously not. Well, we've been doing this for about an hour now, so I don't know. Maybe my brain has left. Sorry about that.
Well, you don't have to be sorry. I just wanted to make sure. I was like, are you with us?
The hardest part about doing severe weather coverage is multitasking, right?
That is
the brain
true.
is not built to multitask. So I'll be sitting in the back of the weather center trying to keep you all informed on the app and, dealing with emergency
Thankfully.
managers. And Kevin will have just said something on TV 2 minutes ago. And I'll be like, oh, I got new information. He's like, yeah, I just said that 2 minutes ago. I'm like,
No,
"Oh."
always better to say it more than once than
That's
never
true.
at all. Right?
Reiteration, especially in that kind of a situation, is good.
Peggy says, yes, you were multitasking.
Trying my best, I promise.
You're doing great. All right, let's see. Do we have any other comments? And then we're going to bail out of here so we can go watch the radar.
Isn't that what we're doing here? I guess we're just
Sort
doing
of.
doing that with a few more bells and whistles attached
Oh,
to
this
it.
is hilarious. Now Todd says, "Now it's good because I don't listen to Kevin normally either." Todd is a good friend, by the way, who I did radio with. He owes me lunch, frankly.
Especially after that kind of comment.
Well, yeah. Now I'm upgrading it to dinner. Now it's dinner. We always call it a meeting.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
See how this works.
Listen, that's been going on for like 15 years.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Crazy.
Hi, Todd.
All right. You're right, Peggy. And there's See Renee Moore sent video from Pendleton on Facebook.
Yeah.
All right. Facebook's great, but the app is the best. So we'll just stress if you have the app, that's the best way to get it to us. First of all, because it just pops right into our computers here and we can see it, use it on the air. We don't have to ask for permission if it's on social media and go through all of that hubbub.
Yeah, our lawyers aren't going to be, shoring up their ties and getting all upset if we, use something from our app as opposed to Facebook there. So the app is the place to be.
All right. Ashley's saying, well, when is this going to be past LaGrange? You've been at it for a long time. I know. You're right. I mean, we're like, oh. That's because there's no upper air currents to move it. So this thunderstorm's fairly tall. Typically what we'd see is that we would have sheared it a little bit by now. So that hadn't been the case because we just don't have a lot of upper air movement to push this thing forward.
Yeah. And in a situation like
rains
that,
itself out. You get heavy rain, flooding, and the hail, of course.
So not only are they going to move slowly, but they're also going to individually, these cells aren't going to stay together for very long. So you'll get multiple cells kind of clustering and merging and splitting. And that's what we're seeing right now in Oldham County, now moving into parts of Henry County, Pendleton getting one of those little cells starting to move over the I-71 corridor.
Now, Janet's asking a good question.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, which app, Wave Now or another one? And I guess we should stress because we have two apps, one for weather, one for news. It's going to be called Wave Radar, I think is the name of it. But if you type in Wave Weather, you'll find it.
Yeah, and on the smart TVs, because you did say Wave Now there, the smart TVs do have a separate app called Wave Now, and you can watch our weather and our news live streams on there as well. In fact, I use it on my Apple TV and my Roku that I have at home. So Wave Now on your smart TV, Wave Weather on your phone or tablet device. Hope that makes that clear.
All right, Dave and Jean are saying, would you comment on the lightning strike zones, safe after 5 miles or 10 miles, yada, yada, yada?
10 miles is always the best. I always like to have that little bit of extra assurance that it's farther away from my location, especially if you got a lot of kids outside near a pool there. So you can use it on the Wave Weather app and some other apps out there to see how far away those lightning strikes are.
Addie's asking, is Louisville having a thunderstorm tonight? No, not yet, not now, and most places won't. Let me just zoom back out on the view of the radar, and you're going to see how isolated they are. There's one just now going up. I'm going to turn that warning off for a second, then we'll come back to it.
And look at those warnings, by the way, out near Dry Ridge, Kentucky, too. They're also starting to see some of that.
And we see one thunderstorm trying to develop as we look a little closer over toward Breckenridge County. So this is going to be just south of Freimeyer. So this will be the next one that we watch. It may have enough juice to get going, if you will. It would be very similar to what we've seen. It's going to billow up where it is. It won't move far from here. It's going to put down some very heavy rain. I don't see any lightning strikes with that one just yet, but we'll watch it. And if it continues to grow, it's going to have the potential to produce some hail. The threat for these thunderstorms, by the way, will not go away until late tonight. So we're just now cooling things down enough where we're going to start to see more of those pop.
Right. The problem is that when you've got a lot of warm air aloft, things are capped and you can't make those thunderstorms develop, right? Well, when you get one or two of these storms going, they cool off the mid-levels of the atmosphere and then all of these other thunderstorms start to get going. So when we say, hey, we're cooling things off, that's why more storms are going to happen. That's kind of the inside baseball of why.
Cool it, buddy.
Cool it, kid. Todd says he owes you a hot dog from the Sam's Club cafeteria.
Well, that got better from the White Castle he was about to take me to.
Both sound good to me, but I have low standards.
But I would take both too, really. Whatever. I'm not picky. All right, let's see. Here we go.
Oh, Trimble County.
Kathy's saying close to Campbellsburg, getting a lot of lightning, thunder. It's cooled down quick. Well, that's for sure. We noticed the temperatures really started to plummet. I can plot those on the map. Look at the temperatures.
Here. I'm curious because I think earlier LaGrange was like at 60 something.
Yeah, it's 66 right now.
There we go. Actually, that's come up a little bit. I think it was even lower than that before.
82 still in Louisville.
Jeez Louise.
That's warm.
Golly.
All right, that gives you an idea of where we stand with the temperatures.
It's April, folks. Like it is April, and we got to 87 degrees today. I'm still like trying to wrap my head around that.
All right, here is one more from Jonathan and Casey saying, so much hail in LaGrange have videos of at least 3 times that it started, but altogether 6 different times hail is hit. Pea-size for the most part, but up to, and that's what we saw in that one huge video where it was just like coming down. You could see it covered in like what looked to be pea-size, but there were definitely some larger hailstones in there.
Yeah, Brian Good just texting both of us here saying the slight risk of severe weather for tonight has actually been removed from the Storm Prediction Center, and likely that's because it's not as widespread of a storm threat as what we have had.
Very nice.
Yep. So that's a good thing.
See, we're watching it even when we're at home.
Right. Thank you, Brian.
Kathy saying, Crestwood, the lightning is crazy there. Yes.
Everybody's getting in on the lightning there.
Will Louisville gets hit till Wednesday? So that's a question. Will Wednesday?
Yeah, I've been seeing a few YouTube comments. Folks are like, are we getting hit tonight in Louisville? Is it going to wait till Wednesday? And it's really, you've got a chance either time here. It's just a lower chance tonight, slightly higher on Wednesday.
Yeah, tonight's chance is so isolated, just like you're seeing on the radar. Very isolated. Wednesday's going to have a little bit higher of a chance, but the question is, will it be along the I-75 corridor or along the I-65 corridor and points to the east?
Very important.
We won't know that until we get a little more data in here. All right, it's 10 after. We're going to wrap it up. We'll take 3 more questions here, and then we'll jump off of here and obviously have an update on the 11 o'clock show, and anything that we need to jump in for, we will.
Yeah, and thankfully this, again, if you're just joining us, this is not a tornado threat tonight. This is a hail threat.
Tyler's echoing what Brian just said.
Yep,
SBC just removed us from the slight risk. That's good. That doesn't mean we won't have any severe weather. Obviously, we have it going on, but it's just not going to be stretched out through the overnight hours tonight.
And keep in mind with those severe weather risks, they're based a lot on how widespread the severe weather will be. So you can have a marginal risk, but like one storm that goes nuts within that, and it's still a marginal risk.
Teresa's asking, how about tomorrow's weather? Looks pretty good. Teresa, we're going to see a partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies, small chance of rain. There's a better chance tomorrow evening that takes us into early Wednesday with that rain chance. But again, that timing will help sort of determine what happens on Wednesday.
And highs will be in the 80s tomorrow, if you can believe it again.
And that answers CJ question saying, what's it going to be with, it's going to be hot and sunny, maybe not quite as sunny, still very warm, not record-breaking heat like today, but anytime we're in the 80s this time of year, that's on the warm side. So
that's going to kick your AC on. I heard everybody's ACs kick on yesterday, just being out and about. And I was like, well, I guess we've reached that time of year already.
Austin's asking, will the severe threat go down deeper into the night? Yes. So let's get through the next 3 hours. Any storms that develop would be between now and about midnight. After that, we're in the fading zone, and then we'll fade them out overnight tonight. So most places, again, and you can even see the one in Breckenridge County is having a hard time sort of staying alive. Yeah. And so that one is fading already, it looks like. Doesn't mean another one can't pop and sort of develop around the area, but the one that's alive and well is the one over Oldham County, drifting into far western parts of Henry County, northwestern parts of Shelby County.
And you can tell how the multiple cells there, not all of those cells are doing so hot right now. Some of them are kind of on life support, and it's just that one southern cell that is surviving and causing the ruckus at the moment.
All right, we're going to say goodbye. Let me pop up here the one more view of the 10-day before I let you go. So you can see that we do have the alert day for Wednesday. That's important to pay attention to. We'll have new info on that coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. We'll also be talking about it throughout the day tomorrow. And then we cool it down. And, of course, you noticed I sort of skipped past Friday and Saturday. That's a big time for us as well. So we should just at least address it. There is a system that moves in on Friday with a higher rain chance. It looks like behind that system, we dry it out quite a bit. So that's good news in terms of dry conditions for Saturday, but it looks like it could still remain on the cloudier side for thunder over Louisville. That would be a high of 62 degrees through that time. So that's something we'll be watching as we get a little closer to the weekend there. So.
Yeah, we're still getting reports in, of course, from folks across wave country here. And looks like we've got some ponding, flooding in LaGrange at this point. Possible microburst signature between LaGrange and Centerfield, according to the National Weather Service. They're seeing that on the terminal Doppler radar, which is located down in Mount Washington. So we are going to pop that up here for just a moment here. We're a little concerned about that as all the mass of cold air in this thunderstorm gets super heavy and accumulates. It can sometimes send down what's called a microburst, and it can go and really put put down a lot of wind very quickly. These winds can accelerate to a point where you do get some damage. So whenever we see the word microburst or wherever we start to get concerned about that, that's what we're talking about by that here. We don't have the terminal Doppler in our system at the moment here. It'd take a few minutes to add that in there. But nonetheless, it is something that, we'll try to get up here for you before we, finish up this evening here. So I'm going to pull it up on my phone so I can at least describe what's going on with that here so that you guys get a sense of.
Sorry, I'm trying to get it. Now I'm being the one that's quiet.
All good, all good. Let's see here if I can find it here. Putting it through a loop on my phone. Yeah, definitely a microburst signature. This is just north of Pond Village here. You can see the spreading apart of the winds. This is heading toward LaGrange. LaGrange, your wind might be kicking up pretty good right now as that moves into town here. I'm going to kick up this rail cam here. So far, the wind is still, so it's kind of the calm before the storm. And it looks like it is dispersing a bit. So it may not be as bad as it gets to you guys in LaGrange there, that microburst signature, but it really looks like it happened just north of Pond Village here. This is just southeast of Buckner. So basically across the interstate, across 71 from Buckner on the south side of 71 is where we had that possible microburst here this evening. I'll be curious to see if any reports come in from that. Thankfully, that's a more rural area than what Buckner and LaGrange would have been, but I am still concerned, especially for the south side of LaGrange with that potential microburst. And basically what we were looking for on the radar here, whenever we kind of show you the velocity, the wind velocity, where we say, okay, the greens and the reds have to be together and you'll see the rotation. Well, this is a little different because we're wanting to see the greens and the reds kind of paired up and then spreading apart very quickly. And you would see on the velocity signature where they're spreading apart very quickly. And because you've got this divergence that's taking place, kind of close to ground level here. So we may very well have had, kind of a severe wind event. Again, that's just across the interstate from LaGrange.
All right. Well, I've got it here. When it pops on, we'll give it a minute to see if we can get the image in. So you're looking at a blank screen with the lightning, the warning that's still in place.
You might be able to see it on LVX if you pop that up because it'll still load it in the background there. Because I am curious to see if we're able to see that at all. It looks like it's getting the scan in as we speak there. That's why we're seeing about a quarter of that in at this time here. And these microbursts can happen even with just regular old, summertime thunderstorms. It's literally the mass of cold air in the storm. It's got to go somewhere, and it's not very buoyant. There you go. So
there it is.
Yeah, so you can really see it there. So in the middle, south of LaGrange there, in the middle between where that green and that red is, that interface right there is where we had a potential microburst. And the terminal Doppler, when it's put in motion, we won't unfortunately be able to have that here because we just loaded one frame of it. It does show you where this really does spread apart from one central point here, and it is quite impressive.
And that's the difference between when you're looking at velocity, where you would have circulation versus going out from a point. So you can see we've got the greens, going in one direction, the reds going in another direction.
So that's how we know this is a microburst versus a tornado, is because of how the wind directions are. And those colors, you see that the legend on the top of your screen there do correspond with inbound and outbound velocities from the radar site. So that's why we're concerned that we may have had a microburst event tonight just south of LaGrange.
Well, see, I haven't seen any damage. Typically
no reports
in the microburst, you would wind up with wind damage out of that, but we haven't had that at least at this point. Though we have had hail, we certainly have the lightning, we've had the heavy rain. Things are easing over in LaGrange right now, and that is the good news. So, all right, we're going to jump off. I'll tell you, when we come back on Wave News at 11 o'clock, we'll have a whole new view of what's happening for tonight, and a look at what to expect as we go into Wednesday for that alert day.
Lightning.
In the meantime, you can always view our SkyTrack cameras on our app. Just scroll down to where it says SkyTrack cameras, and those are up there for you. We appreciate everybody jumping in tonight. It's 20 after 9. I'll see you back here on Wave News at 11 o'clock.
Stay safe, guys.
Have a good night.